So first things first, we start off with our blocks. We're talking about blocks today and Reaktor Blocks, and I'm going to go through a few things with it. And we're just starting off with the bento blocks, which comes with the blocks base if you have complete start. And what I'm going to do here is I just dragged in 3 blocks. I'm just going to do that again real quick. Dragged in 3 blocks here: oscillator, filter, and amplifier. Just the main 3 synth components. And I'm going to go ahead and rename this by double-clicking oscillator 1, and we're going to call this one filter 1, and this one is going to be amp. Boom. And I'm naming these 1 and 1 here just because we might have another one later on, or I know we're definitely going to do more later on, so we can build this up. So first things first, I'm going to patch things together. Now, if you're looking at the notes that I have for the class, you'll notice it looks a little bit different. What this look here is like the inside of things. If I go ahead and I click like this, I can patch things together using that look there. But blocks with Reaktor 6.1 or 6.2 or something changed it up so you can actually patch from the front, which is definitely how you want to do it if you can. So it looks a little bit different, but actually it's the same stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to patch our note in pitch, come to our pitch here, boom. And I can even drag this down so it's right here, so it's all on the same line, and I'm going to drag this over here so it's on the same line. And so what I've got here first is I've got the pitch going to the pitch, and I'm going to have the gate, like we did the other day, I'm going to have the gate go to A over here. I'm going to click on A, and I'm just going to turn that up. So when we get ready, we can go ahead and play the keyboard and play it. So you can see if I hit the keyboard, my notes, my thing's flashing right here. Great. Okay, and it's moving over here. Fantastic. Everything's working. Cool. So now let's get some audio going. So I'm going to go ahead and go out of my oscillator into my filter, out of my filter into my amplifier, and out of my amplifier into the outputs here. And this is going out into the world that we need. So there we go. There we go. There it is. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up my Reaktor over here in Ableton Live, and I'm going to configure this a couple things here right now. So I'm going to configure the oscillator type, the waveform, the filter, the resonance, and I think that's it for now. So, oops. If I go ahead and do that, now I've got my waveform is here. Cutoff should be here. Why are we not? Why is that not? Okay, well, I'll just hit Command M and click on that and that and that. There we go. Cool. So we got that. Now I got my waveform. Oh, really? Are we not going all the way down to the beginning? Oh, I know why. It's because we're not in the right. There we go. Okay, that's why. Hold on. Let me get rid of these. I was in the wrong setting for my Arturia here. There we go. So now I got this, so I can scroll through my waveforms, and I can adjust my cutoff, and I've got my resonance there as well. So if I scroll through my waveforms, put that up, and I've got my this and the resonance. And you can hear it's a nice rich sound. It sounds really nice. But we're getting some pops and clicks. And the reason why we're getting the pops and the clicks is because there's no amp envelope in here. So it's just cutting it on and cutting it off. Another thing is you'll see up here it says utility level stereo. Well, if I wanted to see what my level was coming out, I can actually drop this in here in the middle of things. And I'm going to go ahead and just delete these. I'm just going to click on it and drag it away here, and just click and drag into here left and right. And it doesn't, you don't have to do left and right, but I am doing left and right because you don't have to do left and right until you get to the end over here, but I am going to do it right here. And you notice that I just clicked and dragged it from the output here to the input left and right here. You can click and drag it to several, from one input to several outputs. So now I can see my levels right here, which is nice to see. Okay, so we got that. Do we have an oscilloscope in here? Oh, they did put a oscilloscope in here. Let's put that in here too. How about that? I'll put that up top. Sweet. Let's do this. Let's go from this one here. I'm going to go to the output of the here to the input of my oscilloscope. Oh, I didn't need to disconnect these. And I'm literally just doing that so we can see our waveform. Look at that. Pretty cool stuff. So I can go ahead and adjust this so we can see how that changes my waveform. And as I shave off those high frequencies, look at that. It becomes a sine wave. And if I pull it up, we can start to see it's more of a square wave type of thing. And if I open it all the way up, it's pretty much a square wave. Now, with a square wave, we also want to have our pulse width over here set up. So we're going to go back over here to configure and click on my pulse width. And let's put the pulse width right here under the wave so they're right next to each other. So now I can adjust this and we can see that pulse width happening. How cool is that, right? I'm going to go ahead and just put that 1 to 1. Sorry, I'll turn that off over. Yeah, here I'm just going to do it at 5, the pitch at half, so we can see these blocks a little bit bigger. We can see what it's doing. And if I take my filter here, there we go. Turn on. I'm going to turn my resonance down. And if we listen, see how it's more of a triangle wave. And if I shave off those high frequencies, it becomes more of a sine wave. So there we go. So you can just see how all these waveforms look and sound and stuff. And we'll go through those a little bit more later. But first of all, I want to take care of that pop and click, which is I'm not having fun with that. So go over here to our bento box and go to let's grab an envelope here. ADSR envelope. And I'm going to call this one amp envelope. Amp envelope. Boom. And now what we want to do is we want to take this gate here. I'm just going to disconnect this gate here. And we want to take the gate. So every time I hit a key on my keyboard, it's going to make that envelope trigger. So I'm going to go from the gate here down to the gate envelope here. And I'm going to go from my output of my envelope here to A over here. Now, that shaves off the abruptness on the end of our notes here. So that sounds much better. I'm going to go ahead and great, cool. So this is a basic sound right here. You've made a basic sound. If we don't want to do anything else, we don't have to. This is it. This is the basic of basics. This is the most basic of all basic sounds. Now, let's add a filter and let's add an envelope onto our filter so we can shape the harmonic frequencies a little bit more. So we're going to just drag in another envelope in here. Just drop that in. I'm going to double click to name it. We're going to call it Filt Envelope. Oops. Make it all uppercase because just to keep it consistent. Oh. Filt envelope. Boom. Okay. Same thing. We're going to grab from our gate. Let me just zoom in so we can see that really easily, and we'll do it in slow motion. We're going to grab from the gate. Slow motion. Yep. And take it down to the gate and go from the output here of the envelope into the A input of the filter, blam, and on the A input here, what happened? Go back, there you go. So we got this A input here. I'm gonna click on A here and let's apply it to our cutoff. But what we're gonna do is let's make this adjustable. So our envelope amount, go down here and hit configure, and I'm going to click on this one right here. Is that going to let me? Oh, it's not going to let me. Interesting. Huh. That's very interesting. I didn't realize that was a thing. There's probably another way to do that then. All right. Well, for right now, we'll just turn it up. That's kind of annoying. I'm a bit dissatisfied with that. If I right click on it. Interesting. So if I go over here to my automation. Let's do this. Let's put it in control change number 31. Drag that onto here. And then, why is that not interesting? I'm not sure why this is not configuring into my Ableton Live. I don't know if anybody has an answer for me for why that's not configuring in. Please let me know. Huh. Yeah. Wow, not sure. All right. Anyway, I'll come back to that and figure that out another time because I'm not sure why that's happening like that, but maybe I can... No, it's not letting me do anything with it. Wow. Okay. Well, we'll come back to it. For now, we're just going to set that up like that. And... Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, wow. Well, now it's doing some weird stuff. Hold on, let me turn off this one. Get rid of you. Get out of here. Trash. Boop. Okay. Not sure why that's doing that, but it was assigned to something. I'm not sure what it was assigned to. What is CC31 on this keyboard? I'm not sure. All right. So in here, go down here. So I can adjust my pulse width. I can adjust my cutoff, and we notice that as I adjust my cutoff, it's moving this one here based on what's going on with my filter envelope over here. So let's put our sustain down. So it'll be at our actual cutoff point. And let's just put a little pop on the beginning of things. Like that. Cool, that sounds nice. Let's adjust our waveform. Cool. And here's this one here. Nice. Now, remember earlier, I don't know if you remember or not, earlier I said I'm not really a fan of acid music, but let's make a little acid bass line here using a sequencer. And I want to take this to the next level here with this. So right now we've got an oscillator and a filter amplifier, and we've got an envelope for our filter and an envelope for our amplifier. And this is basic stuff right now, but let's make this a little bit more interesting by adding a sequencer into things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my Blocks bass, and we're going to grab the Bento 8-step sequencer. I'm going to put it right here. I usually like to have things a little bit more cleaned up. My OCD about looking at a clean screen usually gets the best of me, but for now I'm just going to keep it like this so everything is right in front of you. I would usually put that 8 steps down somewhere else. I usually don't have things like set up like this, but anyway, what we need to do with this is we need a couple things. We need to stop and think about what it is we're trying to do, and what I want to do is I want to have it so this sequencer we just put on the screen here, is going to control the pitch of my oscillator, and it's also going to trigger my amplifier. So I'm going to send the gate, because remember the gate is what triggers your envelope or your amplifier, stuff like that. So I'm going to have the gate go to my amp and filter envelope, and I'm going to have the pitch go to my oscillator pitch, which means that I no longer need to have the note in from my keyboard controlling those things. So first of all, I'm just going to delete these. Click on them to delete them, and I'm going to grab it from over here. And actually, maybe what I can do is, since we're doing it like that, let's put it here in the beginning of everything. That might be a better place to put that. So I'm going to go over here, I'm going to grab my pitch, and the pitch is going to go to my oscillator. So we're going to get the pitch from here. And my gate is going to go to my filter envelope and also to my amp envelope right here. That's really all we need to get going as far as the sound goes, but we need to get this clock in here playing this thing. And so the clock, we're going to set the clock up to send the gate over here to this. Boop, like that. Now if I hit play, and I turn these on, There we go. Now I can move these around. And I can change my direction. I can adjust the levels of steps. And while it's playing, I can still make adjustments to all my sounds here. And we get a basic thing. Now for this to work, a couple things has to happen. One, we have to have our sequencer playing. It's not going to work if we don't have it playing. What if we also wanted to line up with everything so it resets every time the bar happens? Well, we have to have this reset button going here. And we have to click on this, reset every 16 clicks. And then our reset, drag it down here. Now, for me, this one sounds a little bit weird and off. There's no way to move this around. I don't believe there's a way to kind of move it around. It's just the way these notes kind of fall and sound and do their thing that it sounds a little bit weird to me. Right. So I can move these around. Now, I'm not a huge fan of these kinds of sequencers. I don't like putting my notes in here like this. For me, it's like meh, very meh. But this is what comes with the bento box. That's why I'm showing it to you. There's other sequencers that you can get as well. This is where you wire in the reverb and go, yeah, so let's wire in some reverb. That's not a bad idea, actually. Is there reverb that comes with the bento box? There is not a reverb that comes with the bento box here. Anything in utilities? I mean, utilities is usually non-audio stuff. Okay, so there's no reverb in there. Let's go into the blocks primes and grab a rounds reverb here. Boom. And I'm going to move this back up here. Let's go ahead and put it directly in the signal chain. Absolutely, yep, yeah, totally come to life with some. Well, you know what? Instead of doing it like this, I don't want to do it like this because I want to stick with basic stuff with this. Let's just go ahead and route it to some reverb. Let's send it to some send reverb. Put a little delay on it. Go ahead. Cool. Nice, I like that. Send the delay to the reverb. Awesome. Oh, wait. What am I turning? Ping pong. Huh? Okay, there we go. Turn this off here. Turn up our filter. Okay, so here's something we can do. You see me turn the knob. Let's automate that. So how would we automate that? If you've been paying attention to stuff, you probably have an answer to this. How do we automate this? And the way we automate this is we're going to use an LFO to automate that kind of knob turning sensation. So we're going to go back over here to our bento box and we're going to grab a bento LFO here. I'm just going to put it right here on the end, or maybe in here actually, so it looks nicer. And I'm going to have it so it resets with the clock here. So reset to there, and I'm going to have the output of my bento LFO. We're going to call this one a filter LFO. And on here, the output is going to go to B right here. There we go. And how much is B going to affect it? I click on B right here, and I'm just going to turn it up. Put it right in the middle there. Actually, let's just make it so it's up instead of back and forth. And so what I did was, I don't know if you noticed, I just clicked this button right here. So instead of being like, what is it, uni or bipolar, it's uni, whatever that is, uni versus bi. So basically what this means is it's going to start at the low point of the cutoff and just go up from there, or the cutoff point can be in the middle, which actually I don't really love it when the cutoff point's in the middle. I like my cutoff point to be my low point. That's just what I'm used to with a lot of stuff. Can the sequencer control the envelopes? The answer is yes, but not this sequencer. There is another sequencer here called the 4-mod sequencer, which we'll bring out in just a second. Like so, got this here, and we're going to speed this up a little bit. And let's make it random. And let's actually tie this into, can this one be? So this one cannot be tied into our sequencer, which is annoying. Let's actually make it not random for now. We'll make it like that. And let's get the reset out of there as well. Oh, I remember what's happening here. Is this one. There we go. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Cool. Bring that reset back in, see what that does. Sweet. Cool. All right, so we're getting somewhere. Take vel out to sustain velocity. This one here. Yeah, actually we could do that. Let's do that. Let's take this velocity out to our sustain. What, on the amp sustain? Let's try that. It's kind of a neat idea. Go to sustain over here. Yeah. Now I just have to let's drag these down to our velocities. That's a good idea. I like that idea. So just kind of randomize these, give it a little bit more. So, and basically what we're doing here, for those paying attention and a little bit lost, like why are we doing this, is because we're just trying to give it some life and make it so it's not just so robotic. Cool. We could also go the opposite direction. Cool. Yeah. Neat. Nice. So we're starting to get somewhere with this. Now let's drag in the mod sequencer. And the mod sequencer, we'll put this up top. Again, I'm only putting it here just so we can see it. And let's take this mod sequencer and actually run it to the oscillator here so it changes the waveform. So again, we want the gate to be triggered from, let's see, this is not one that I use very much. So I feel like the gate, let's run this gate over to here and see what happens. I feel like that's the one we should probably hook it up to. And then the output one, we got output 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we got different modulation, sources here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to take output 1, go into A here, and then A, we're going to go over here to our waveform and put it like that. And now let's move this down. Start with our triangle. And we'll go across. And what this is going to do is it's going to move it through these here. So, and also the reset button will go here. Cool. Neat. And we can change this up. Cool. Yeah, definitely not so boring now. Right now, this might look like I've done a whole bunch of stuff. I haven't really done that much at all. We've still only got one oscillator, one filter, one amplifier. It's still the basics of building synthesizers, but we've added this other stuff in here to modulate the sound. So what we've got here is this step sequencer here is setting up our pitches. Over here we've got our filter LFO is just making this one move. You can see how it's making it move right there. If I adjust the timing, I can make it go faster or slower, like that. It will reset every 16 beats though because of our sequencer clock here. And then I've got my filter and amp envelopes right here. I have the velocity over here. You can see these velocity numbers down here are coming over here to adjust the sustain level on the envelope, which is thank you, Paul, for that suggestion. And then over here, we've got our bento box modulation, and higher means higher, more, like more whatever it is, and lower means less whatever it is. And we've got that over here controlling the, what did I set that up for? That's controlling our waveform on our oscillator. So it's not that we have so much stuff going on, it's just that we've got a few things connected up. Now, let's take this and add in another oscillator here and see what we can do with this. So what we're going to do is we're going to make another oscillator. I'm just going to click and drag another oscillator in here. Boom. And what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move this stuff down here. And here's what we're going to do with this oscillator. We're going to keep it fairly simple. I'm going to put both of these oscillators, let's call this one oscillator 2. Here. And both of these oscillators are going to run into a mixer here. We need to have a mixer. And we could have a crossfader like this. Let's see, like this. Yeah, let's just do a crossfader because it's just basic. We just have two oscillators. And so what we'll do is, so the pitch, we want to get the pitch from the same sequencer. So the pitch is going to go here, pitch 1 to pitch 2. And our output, instead of the output going into the filter like this, what we're going to do is the output will go into our crossfader here. So oscillator 1 will go into 1 and oscillator 2 will go into 2. And now maybe you understand why I named it oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. And then we'll go to bento box crossfade and set the output of that to the filter. So now all I've done is I've just taken the two oscillators and just, instead of having the one go directly into our filter, I've just taken them and had them go into a mixer, and then that goes into our filter. And Paul says, for those who haven't seen, a VCV rack is basically this on steroids. Yes, VCV rack is also free, and I guess the free version comes with a ton of stuff, right? And I also noticed you can go and you can pay for extra things and other stuff. VCV racks is kind of like, it's also more, it's not really, is it open source? I'm a little bit confused about that. Or they just open it up for people? It's a very similar thing, but Reaktor, you have to pay for the entry, the gateway, which would be Reaktor itself. You have to pay for that gateway into it. But VCV, you don't have to pay for that entry into it, and that's the big difference. Right now, I actually did download VCV, but I didn't install it because I don't know, it did something that I wasn't quite sure what it was doing, so I didn't install it quite yet, but I do want to install it. Paul, you got me interested in installing it and checking it out again. So anyway, continue on with this real quick because we're almost done here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have this 4 mods here. I'm going to have output number 2 come down here to my second oscillator and do something similar there. And I could just have it go from my first oscillator, but I'm going to have it come from my second oscillator. Like this. Why is this one orange? Oh, that might be the beat that we're on. Yeah, it's the beat we're on. So we got that there. Awesome. Oh, let's glide between the. Ooh, that's nice. Let's glide. Let's glide. Let's prance. And yeah, soft tube. Yeah, voltage modular. I don't know that one. I know soft tube. I've used soft tube. I didn't love the soft tube one. I preferred the VCV one. Okay, so we got this here. Let's hit play. Okay, so here's one. There we go. Here's this. And hit A. Okay, something's not happening here. Is it because I got the glide up too high? No, the other one's moving. Yeah, I'm not sure why this one's not working. So our oscillator 2 is working, but what I'm not hearing is I'm not getting the, it's not moving around. Which I'm not really sure why that's not happening. Let's see what's the difference between 1 and 2 here. 1, oh, you know what the difference is? Well, hold on, let's see. Click A on, I did. Got the A right here, and I got this one here. We're not, you know what's not happening? That we're not getting signal in here, so it's not, see how this one's pulsing? This one's not pulsing. And this is what happens. Like sometimes you have to troubleshoot this stuff. There might be something I'm not, like maybe, oh, you know what? Oh, here we go. I probably have, wait. No, it's, oh. I honestly have no idea. Oh, you know what? I had to, you have to turn it on. Huh, that's funny. So what I had to do is I had to click on it because it was grayed out. I had to click on it. So it's no longer grayed out. Okay. Okay, let me turn the glide back on. This one. Turn the glide on, although it's not really gliding. Cool. All right. There we go. Cool. Nice. Now I can go back and forth between these. And then what I could also do to make this even more interesting is I can take number 3 here and go out to down here to A in, make sure I turn it on. And then put this in by and have it go left and right. So it's doing that. And let's take this and set it to 7 steps so it's off from everything else. The range is all the way up. Let's glide around. Cool, put this right in the middle. Turn on A here. Cool. Nice. Now, there is another way we could, well, there's some other division things, but they don't come with the free version. But so far, everything I've done is stuff that you can do for free. All you need to do is get complete start. I feel like I'm a commercial for Native Instruments right now, but really, you get that complete start and you can do all this stuff for free, what I just showed you. And as Paul's been saying, also VCV. The VCV rack is this one here. Let's just go over and see it real quick. VCV rack. It's this one here, and I've got like an account on here, but you can see it's cool stuff. You can do some neat stuff with it. Yeah. For some reason, my download just downloaded this, and then when I installed it, it just had this here. Which, let's see, if I drag this into my applications, I feel like it didn't do. Where'd it go? What's it called? Rack. Rack, yeah. Like if I open it, yeah. It's missing resource directories. So I'm not sure what happened there. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording OBS.